Welcome everyone to this special podcast, the Leadership Advancement Mentorship Podcast. This is a podcast that really showcase the journey of great leaders, showing us how they have come to become more aware of their leadership potential and what they have done to develop it and how mentorship has really impacted them. So with me today is one of our keynote speaker in our recently concluded the Blaze of Change annual global conference. And it's really awesome to have this great leader spoke. I mean, I tell you, it was a very powerful moment. And I wasn't surprised because 1 year ago, she did the welcome speech, and that welcome speech was so awesome. And I said, no, 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 you need to be our keynote speaker for next year. Without wasting time, I want to introduce to you Dr. Sharon Olori. How are you, Dr. Sharon?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Koku. And yes, congratulations again on everything you're building with Lab Global. Being here just feels right. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was great. So I want our audience to get to know you. Who is Dr. Sharon Olori? Yeah, let's meet you, please. Thank you.
Mm. That's a very interesting question because it comes up a lot of times, and I always find different ways to answer. So I would start by saying that I am a physician, I am a founder, and I'm also someone who's deeply committed to the idea that leadership and health are not separate conversations. So by
Hmm.
training, I'm a medical doctor, but by calling, I would say that I build things. I'm a founder of the Oboli Foundation for Health and Inclusion. This is a nonprofit that's focused on preventative health literacy and free community screening in underserved communities. I'm also building a skincare science-driven company with a colleague specifically for people of color. So this is the first place, that I'm saying this. So I'm glad that, Lab Global is the first to hear that. But if I want to strip away all that
We are so
title,
fortunate.
yes, yes. I would
Hmm.
say ultimately, I'm somebody who cannot walk past a gap without wanting to close it. And I think
Hmm.
that is the thread that runs through everything that I do.
Wow, that was awesome. That's awesome. You know what? The thing is, nothing tickled me than seeing a young leader that is very confident. Dr. Sharon, anytime I see you, it's as if something is written on your forehead. It's confidence. Where did you get this from? Where can you tell us how you became a confident young leader? I mean, it's really contagious. Yeah. How did you came? Was this? I know it's not something like no one was born with confidence. So how did
Yes,
you
yes.
become confident? Because I really want to highlight it in the sense
Mhm.
that I like calling out uniqueness when I see people. And you really demonstrated that in your keynote speech when the internet froze. I mean, you just come, you say, no, not today. It's and
Yeah.
and I want to tell you something, it registers in the hearts of people.
Mhm.
People did not see panic. They said, no, I have to listen to this today. So tell us how did have you always been like that? At what point did you develop that kind of confidence as a leader?
So I like to start with an interesting story. When you talked about doing the keynote speech when my internet froze, something like this happened to me when I was around 6 years old. I was
Hmm.
having a ministration in church, so I was part of the dance group when I was the lead dancer. And, we came on stage, everyone was happy, the music was going, we were performing, and guess what? Technical
Hmm.
failure, the music stopped.
Hmm.
Guess what I did? I kept on dancing. And
Wow.
then the choir backed me up and started singing the song. And that's how we finished the administration. So I think that over time, I have developed that don't panic because when you start to panic, you create some form of fear within yourself,
Hmm.
and people sense that, you
Yeah.
know, and it just gives you this negative marking that, okay, maybe I shouldn't be listening to somebody who's not confident in themselves. So
Mm.
whenever I walk into a room, whenever I have something to do, I just say, what type of person do I want to listen to? And I show up as that person.
Yeah.
I haven't always been like this. Trust me, I panic a lot. I am
Mm.
one of those people you described as an overthinker. I always think of the worst case scenarios, but I also tell myself to think of the best case scenarios. So, how I came like this, I would say it's practice. Before I do
Mm.
anything, I practice to the point that if you wake me up from sleep, I got you. I got myself too.
Wow, wow, that is so true. One of my coach in the Maswell leadership, Valerie Button, she actually said it. She said preparation builds confidence.
Mhm.
Because when you fail to prepare, you'll be ready to repair. So
Uh,
you are either preparing or repairing. So,
exactly.
and when you want to see confident people, it comes with practice, especially when you take action. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes after taking action. But today we are not focusing on confidence. Our focus is on awaken the leader within you. But that's what actually we dealt with during the last conference. But I picked you on purpose, and I know you have no idea you're going to be on this podcast. But
Yeah.
after I listened to you, what you shared, I believe that should not stop there. I just want to take time to really dissect it. We are both physicians. I want to dissect that keynote speech, and I want us to look at awaken the leader within you. But before we dive into that, so at what point did you discover, uh, because I believe everyone has a leader. Everyone have the leadership potential. We had a conference last year for Women at Blaze, Women in Leadership. And the theme of the conference is life. And I've come to see it as an acronym. Life is leadership is for everyone. And I believe leadership is for everyone because everyone has the potential for leadership. And what everyone just needs to do is to become aware of that and start developing that. So awareness comes before development because awareness is the first key to change. And after that, is accepting the responsibility for change. So tell us, at what point did you become aware of that leadership potential inside of you? When did you have that awareness that I'm a leader, I'm a leader? When? At what point in your life? Thank you.
I would say that mine came pretty early. I don't know if high school is early, but around that period in high school,
So
I
how old were
discovered,
you? Because some people are listening to you right now. They are trying to.
okay, how old was I? I would say around 12, 13.
Okay. So you're like
Yes,
12, 13 when you became aware. So tell us, how did that
12,
awareness
13.
came? Was it
Yes,
from
so
somebody's that you trust that told you about it? How did you came about it?
all right. So I think for me, I always found myself in rooms where nobody was saying what needed to be said. We're
Mm,
having discussions, and I'm thinking to myself that there's a better way to go about this, or, we could do this a different way. And so I walk up to my teachers and I tell them, oh, this is what I'm thinking. And they just advise me instead of thinking, why don't you stand up and say something? The only way you're going to be heard is if you actually open your mouth to speak. And so
mm,
I started that way, but it always wasn't easy because I'd been told that I speak softly, I don't project my voice well enough. So sometimes what I'm saying could be ignored. And so over the years, I said, you know what? I believe in what I think should happen. And the only way is to keep projecting. And so whenever there's something and they need a volunteer who's going to lead this, I'm the first to raise my hand up, right?
mm.
Because that's the only way. So I found myself volunteering for positions, wanting to lead a group, sometimes wanting to form a group. And I would say that with time, getting into college, university, I just found myself in the forefront of leadership.
Wow. So the awareness came when you were in high school. Yeah. So
Yes.
tell us, after the awareness came, what have you done to intentionally developing yourself? Because development does not come automatically. It is
Mhm.
intentional. So what have you done intentionally to grow yourself? to grow that leadership potential, because the potential is given to us as a seed.
Yeah.
So what have you done that has made that potential to now become a credential? Because
I
it is
love that.
dedication. Yeah, it is dedication that turns potential into credential. Because
I love
dedication
that. Yeah.
today will lead to celebration tomorrow.
Mm,
So without dedication, potential remain potential.
yes.
But with
Yes. Yes.
dedication, potential becomes credential.
Credential and
So,
leads to
and even
celebration.
though credential can be more amplified, yeah, it can be
Yes.
2x, 3x,
Yes. Yes.
4x, 5x, 10x, 100x, 1,000, 1,000,000 x.
Mhm.
It's in, so it is in credential, it's in level. It's just like someone that has a bachelor's,
Mhm.
master's, PhD, they are not at the same level. But
Definitely.
dedication must come first to transform potential to credential. There's so many, the world is full of people with potential,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because of lack of dedication, they are unable to transform that potential into credential. Case in
Into
point,
credential.
Michael Jordan joined, he was drafted to the NBA.
Mhm.
And first round, it was number three. It was not even number one. The number one was Hakeem Olajuwon. So, and he came in to Chicago Bulls in 1984. He never won a championship
Mhm.
until 1991. So he has that potential inside of him, but he never manifested that potential, even though he was doing some things. People can see that those flashes, they can
Yeah.
see that potential. But it came to a point in which there's this particular team, Detroit Pistons, they are so mean. They call them bad boys. In
Oh
fact,
my goodness.
they came up with something called the Jordan rule to
Mhm.
stop him because they saw his potential.
Yeah.
But because those guys were big and all that, they were able to tame him.
Mhm.
So every time they will always knock them out first round. They won't be able to go beyond that point. Then one summer, he got mad. He said, "No, I am going to do something about this." So
Enough is enough.
he amplified his dedication. So he hired a personal trainer, and
Mhm.
it was in gym. I watched that documentary. It was in gym all that summer. Gym is meant to be like their free time, their vacation time. He never went on vacation. He was lifting up the weight. He was building up muscle, building up momentum, getting ready for those Detroit bad boys. And
Mhm.
by the time they came back, oh, it was another Michael Jordan. They
Mhm.
beat up that Detroit Pistons 4-0. They blow them out. That those guys couldn't
Wow.
shake their hands. And guess what? There was no turning back. They won three
Wow.
championships in a row.
Wow. Amazing.
And he went out of NBA for 2 seasons and he came back. They won another 3 seasons in a row. That's how Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan.
Mhm.
So tell us, what dedication have you applied in terms of developing that leadership potential? Because
I
I
would say
believe
two
if you have
things.
not done that, you won't be here today. I won't be speaking
I
to you
think
on this
so.
podcast
Yes,
today.
yes.
Yeah,
I would say two things. One
yeah.
of my strengths is research.
Research.
I
Okay.
love to research. Whenever
Hmm.
I listen to somebody, whenever
Hmm.
I go somewhere and a name is mentioned, I write that
Hmm.
name down. And the first thing I do is I go on Google and I check their credential, just like you mentioned. What
Yeah.
has this person done to get to where they are? They're not in the
Hmm.
room, but their name is being called. So, what
Hmm.
have they added to themselves that has
Hmm.
gotten them that? And then the next search is, what can I start doing now to
Hmm.
get those same things so that my name is being mentioned in rooms I'm not in? So I
Wow.
research a lot and I consume content.
So tell
If you
us, what
check my
content have you consumed to what have you consumed to develop yourself, the leader within you?
leader within me, I know everybody says books, right? I did start reading at a young age,
Okay.
but over time, I would say that podcasts are my thing.
Okay.
You will never catch me go a day without listening to a podcast. There are different podcasts. There's Alex Huberman that I listen to on YouTube, Diary of a CEO I listen to on YouTube, and just various other strong speakers, strong women. I used to inspire myself to build
So
myself whenever.
what area, and when you listen to podcasts, what area, because there are different areas
Yeah.
that you can listen to podcasts on what topics, what area, what interests you the most? Yeah.
I listen to leadership podcasts, I listen to business podcasts, and I listen to science podcasts. Those are my three strong modules, I would say I like to develop myself in. It's quite interesting because I was talking to somebody recently and they were telling me about some remote opportunity. I was like, oh yeah, you just do this, do that. And the person was quite surprised that, oh, you know a lot about this. I said, yes, I just like to research. I just like to read things. Whenever something comes across my table, I'm going
Mm,
to search on it. Now, the second thing that I would say that I have done to develop myself is
mm,
mentorship.
mm,
Now, when it comes to mentorship, a lot of people have this narrow mindset that, they need to have a formal mentor, they need to have scheduled sessions, accountability calls. That's nice. But one thing I've learned is we have the vertical mentorship and we have the
mm,
horizontal mentorship. Now,
mm,
the vertical mentorship is, yeah, the one you have with, a superior, someone who's a chairman or like someone who's exposed and well in depth in that particular sector. That's
mm,
vertical. The line is going up, so you look up to the person. You're climbing
mm,
a corporate ladder. The person gives you exposure, to high level career advice, to leadership. And then you
yeah.
have the horizontal. That's your peer to peer. You guys are
Mm,
on the same line and you both bring your unique experience to the playing field. You see,
mm,
that horizontal mentorship, I
mm,
would say, is my secret. Yes, there are lots of people who have higher ups that they look to, but not all of them are accessible. You can access
mm,
them through their books, through their podcasts, through materials that they have produced. But sometimes you just have colleagues that are doing something that you like, and I pay attention, I listen, I pick things from here. So I wouldn't say that my mentorship is, very strict. I would say it's more of an ambient mentorship, learning deeply from people who don't even know that I'm listening to them. They don't know that they're teaching me, reading the work
mm.
of leaders I admire, studying who they are, studying what they built, and asking myself, what can I do now to get that? So I'll say those two things, research and mentorship, have really helped
Wow, that was awesome. That was
me.
awesome. That was great. That was great. And that was interesting because I really want to ask question on mentorship. And you actually threw us into that water. Because I love this podcast is called Leadership Advancement Mentorship podcast. Because I wrote a book on mentorship. I believe so much in mentorship. And this book is called The Mentorship Advantage. And I made it so simple in the sense that
Okay.
the framework is mentorship.
Yeah,
The acronym is mentorship.
mentorship.
And talking in terms of mentorship, somebody said, he that has himself for a mentor has a fool for mentor. That's Ben Johnson.
Mhm.
And is an English writer. So talk to me about this mentorship. Apart from the people that, and I love the way you talk about this mentorship, that the vertical mentorship, that means people that we look up to, and the horizontal, that means peer to peer. And there's
Yeah,
another one. Let me tell you about that one. There's what we
please.
call reverse mentorship.
Mm.
Reverse mentorship. And many people they don't know this reverse mentorship. And what reverse mentorship does is, so let's say, for instance, I don't know where do I fall with you now? Is it vertical or horizontal?
I would say vertical. You're really high up there.
I just want to know. So now, let's say as we have vertical mentorship, you are looking up to me.
Yes.
But guess what? This is what people did not get, and they are missing it. There's a reverse mentorship. Do you know, Dr. Sharon, that I can also look up to you?
Mm.
So
Wow.
that is what reverse mentorship. The truth is, it doesn't matter how up somebody is. And I learned that from Dr. John Maswell, my mentor. He learned from young leaders.
Mm.
He's a man that is number one leadership guru in the world. He will go to conference. He may be the one to speak last. He will be there early. He will
Mm.
be learning. He will be taking notes. And when it comes to his time, he will share everything he has learned. That is reverse mentorship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So reverse mentorship is real.
Mm.
And we need to get this. And I know this concept is new. And somebody might be hearing reverse mentorship for the first time, but it is real. Great leaders learn from upcoming leaders because leadership is not a certification.
Mm. Yeah,
It's an ongoing education that requires utmost dedication.
that's right.
And that is why it's ongoing. There's no finish line to learning. I learn leadership every day.
Mhm.
So, and so talking about that, so who have mentored you apart from podcast? These are people that they don't even know that they are mentoring you. So who have you been able to be privileged to be mentored by? And you've told us about the role of mentorship, but tell us who are the people that mentored you that has helped to shape your leadership and that's help your development even to be the leader that you are today.
Thank you for that question.
Welcome, yeah.
I would say that one strong mentor that I've had is actually my mom. I
I
think
know.
she's a force.
I'm waiting to hear that.
Yes, I think she's a force when it comes
Mm,
to leadership, when it comes
yeah,
to empowerment. There's just this grace that she carries.
yeah.
And sometimes unknowingly, I might come to her with, a funny story, and the next thing is turning into, how
Mm,
you could strive, how you could be better. Or I could tell her that, oh yeah, I just saw this. And she's like, why didn't you apply? Why didn't you put yourself there? So I
mm,
would say that she's been a very strong mentor for me.
mm,
One vertical mentor I would mention, who I don't have personal contact with, would be Dr. Ola Brown. She's the CEO of the Flying Doctors, and she's also into venture capital, private equity. She's a medical doctor who got a
mm,
PhD in finance. And for
mm,
me, it was okay, I don't have to be the traditional clinician. There's so much
mm.
more I could do with my degree outside medicine. There's so much, different areas that I could be in.
Yeah.
Fortunately, too, when I was in medical school, I had joined a mentorship program called the Progeny Cerebrum, and it's a mentor-mentee program for healthcare professionals. And so a lot of people there, Dr.
Mm,
Mims, Dr. Rebecca, they were very instrumental too in just helping me in that line. So I would say I've been
mm.
very lucky to have people around me that, just speak life and encourage me to keep going. But overall, my mom has been very instrumental. She doesn't let me
Wow.
rest. There's no backing down. There's no mediocrity when it comes to her. You have to keep going.
Your mom, she's such a great leader.
Yes.
And we are so excited to have her as one of our top leaders in the LAM global community. In fact, meeting her has been a blessing.
Wow.
We've both of us, we've worked together, brainstorm on so many things. I remember when we started the Parent Empowered Academy for Right Leadership, and she was like a midwife of that vision.
Wow.
I believe I just shared with her. She ran with it. That's why we made her the cover. She was the cover personality on that.
Wow.
Really, yeah, really, yeah. So she's so phenomenal. Now, the next question I want to ask is, as we wrap up, is this: Can you and just share because we are focusing on today's podcast on awaken the leader within you. Can you just
Yeah.
share quickly on how can emerging leaders that are watching us right now and they're asking question that, oh, I now understand that I have that leadership potential within me. So the awareness is in place based on our conversation
Mm.
and maybe they are not aware before now. They are now become aware. Oh, wow, that's no wonder I've been feeling this way. Oh, yeah, I now realize that. Oh, I have this thing also. So, how can they awaken the leader within them?
That's amazing. I would say that hunger, right?
Hmm.
That is the thing for me. And when I talked about this during the keynotes, I mentioned it as the stare. It
Mm,
has to be something that just bothers you so much you lose your sleep over.
mm,
And when you have that, it's not something you need to see as a complaint. It's something that you need to take action. So
mm,
action is very important. I always tell myself that I cannot procrastinate my way to greatness. If there is something that I need to do, if there's something bothering me, it's not going to happen overnight. It's small
mm,
steps. It's like they say, it's small drop would, fill the ocean or make an ocean. It's small steps. So the first thing you do is get a book, get a pen, have your journal. You can label that my awakening journal. And then you write, okay, this is what I have in mind. This is what is bothering me. And then you start to, build frameworks from there, build an algorithm. How can I get to this? What does the finish line look like? This is something that someone taught me. At the beginning of every year, think of how you want your year to have ended. So at the end of 2026, Dr. Sharon did this and that and that. And then, just like you said, reverse mentorship, reverse building that. So if at the end of the year, I want to have published 2 books, how am I going to get that? What did I need to do to get those 2 books? If at the end of the year, as a leader, you want to have had 3 conferences, what do you need to do to get that? Action is very important. It's not just by having it and going back to sleep and saying, oh, I don't have what it takes, I don't have the resources. The only way things can happen is when you take action. And
mm,
so with the blaze, with the rise, you need to study. You need to show up in places that people don't think you're going to be. You need to
mm,
start doing things. You need to know your leader type. Am I the voice? Am I the builder? Am I the thinker? And then you need to start strategically working in that. And then when you get to the blaze, that's where you fire on. That's where you're feeding yourself, you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your body, and you're getting to it. But the most important thing is action. Action looks different for everybody. We're all not the same. You might have $50,000 and I might just have $200. Somebody
mm,
might have $10. For action, if the first thing you need to do is register your business, do it. And look at the registration every day. And it reminds you that, oh, there's something I'm working to. If you have the money to hire a team to start working on that, do that. But whatever you have at that moment, action. Take a step. Don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time will never come because when that perfect time comes, something else is going to come and overtake it. So just keep moving, never stop, keep moving. If you need to take a break, do that. Every time you're driving a car, you need to add fuel to it, right? Fuel
mm.
yourself, but keep moving, keep moving. Don't let the journey stop. So yeah.
Wow, that was awesome. Wow, that was great. Okay, I like framework, I know. And so let's just give them a framework and let's use this framework that I gave during the blaze of change to awake the leader within you. So I share this 5 pillars acronym, and I believe what you are saying is just in synchrony with it. And the first one is accept responsibility. You know,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what you did because until you accept responsibility, all you're going to have is potential. You won't have credential.
Exactly. Exactly.
Accepting responsibility is what dedication is all about. Dedication is all about accepting responsibility. And because those that refuse to accept responsibility, they end up as a liability.
Yeah.
So you have to accept responsibility for your own personal growth and leadership development. Nobody will grow you. It's a DIY. It's a do it yourself.
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
second thing we talk about is W. You have to win the inner battle. You have to win the battle within. There's a fight within you between there's a part of you. We all have two nature inside of us. We have the Hippo nature and we have the ego nature. So the Hippo nature want to keep you down, want to keep you
Yeah.
lazy, just sleep all day, binge Netflix,
That's
watch
it.
movie, just eat and drink, talk, and
Yeah.
just while away the time. That's the Hippo nature.
Yeah.
And we have the ego nature that like to soar, want to be the best version of ourselves. So we have to allow that nature to win. So how do you allow that nature to win? And that's by choosing growth over comfort. And the only way you grow is getting out of your comfort zone, doing what and you don't feel like doing, because discipline
That's
is
right.
not doing what is doing what you want most instead of what you want now. So that
Yeah.
is the second pillar that we look at. So we talk about the first one and accept responsibility. The second one, win the battle within. And the third one is you have to add value to people. So adding value to people begin to adding value to yourself, because only people that add value to themselves can add. You can add value out of empty, and then
Yes.
also you have to value others. Then the next one is K, is keep growing.
Mm.
So you don't just grow for one day and say, "Oh, no." You have to keep growing. You have to just like you don't
Continuous,
stop
yes.
eating until your time on earth is over. So you
Yes.
have to keep growing. You have to keep growing. And the last one is E, embrace your unique purpose.
Mm.
Yeah. So everyone have a unique purpose. You have to embrace your purpose. Your purpose is unlike others. And I love what you say, Dr. Sharon. And I like the way you think. I like your mindset. And when I was in medical school, there's something a friend of mine normally talk is also in Abuja. He's a pastor now. He's pastor at church. So Pastor Daniel Ufaruna, he always says something that some people are medical illiterate. And the reason why I said that is that the only thing they know is medicine. They don't know any other thing. So and that's why as a doctor, I'm a kind of person that I'll be in a ward round. Guess what I'll be reading? I'll be reading Zig Ziglar. And I mean, inspirational book. And
Yeah.
my colleague will be looking at me that, oh, I'm not serious because all they just read is medical stuff. But I knew that my life is more than medicine. Today, in fact, the last time I practiced medicine was 2008
Wow.
actively. Exactly. In fact, exactly. I left Nigeria in 2008, 18 years ago. In fact,
Wow.
before I left, I took a leave because I was the executive secretary of the Christian Medical and Dental Doctors. I was really I was planning a national conference before I left, so they gave me leave early. I was so in fact that was my best moment. Not that I don't like practicing medicine. My most area in medicine is emergency medicine. When they say I love that, my
Yeah.
all my mental cells come alive.
Yeah.
I just love it. I want to see instant results. But I knew this other part of me. I knew very well that I have some abilities that I can use. That is why even transiting from a physician is easy for me because I've always realized that I have discovered myself. So, Dr. Sharon, you've been a very phenomenal leader because you are not just a physician, you are a physician of great value and of great value in the sense that I believe a physician of great value is someone that can add value outside of medicine, and that's what you are doing. Yeah. So I want to end up with this last question, and what is the greatest lesson you have ever learned?
Hmm. That's a deep question. I would say that
Hmm.
the leader within me was not waiting for anybody to come and anoint me and say, go forth or carry me like Simba and say, yes, you are the leader. No. The greatest lesson is choosing what I want for myself.
Hmm.
The world is not going to give me the perfect, you know, the perfect desire, but I get to choose what
Hmm.
I want. So I think choice, the lesson of choice,
Yeah.
has been the greatest lesson. I get to
Hmm.
decide how seriously I want to take my stare. I get to decide how I want to rise. I get to decide how I want to blaze. I get to decide the type of leader I am. I get to decide the next
Hmm.
project I'm working. I get to decide how I want to be perceived. So
Hmm.
choice
Hmm.
has been the biggest lesson. And once you choose what you want, once you
Yeah.
decide for yourself, I don't think
Hmm.
anyone's going to stop you.
That
I
was
don't think
awesome.
anyone's going to stop me. So yes.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's what Jim Rohn called dignity of choice. He said, what makes humans different? We've been given dignity of choice. He said, the only creature of God that doesn't reach their maximum is human being. He said, if you plant a tree,
Mm.
they'll reach their maximum as long as
Yeah,
they have all the things that they need. But human being, many have, and that is one of my calling to help people to reach their potential. And Dr. Sharon, it's been great having this leadership conversation with you. So, how can people
thank you
connect
so
with you?
much.
And they are looking at you that, oh, this lady is so unique. You are so dynamic. I mean, you are so enchanting. You are so exciting. You are so inspiring. That how can they connect with you?
I think the best way would be on LinkedIn. So Dr.
Okay.
Sharon Olori on LinkedIn. You could send me a message. I
Are
would
you
be
on
sure
Facebook?
to answer. I'm not on
I was
Facebook.
wondering, I was looking for you to like, thank God I
I'm
asked.
not I'm not on Facebook. So LinkedIn and Instagram, Dr. Sharon Olori, you'll find me on both of those platforms.
Okay. Wow. We are glad that you are here today. And I want to say thank you for
It was
adding
an
great
honor.
value to leaders. And we've been looking at this, Awaken the Leader Within You. And we've learned so much from you today. We just want to say thank you. And to our viewers, and it's been great time, you learning. But I want to encourage you that transformation requires application. The measure of wisdom is not in information, but is in putting that information to practice to experience transformation. Because learning without practice is playing without knowing. Till I come again with another great leader on this leadership advancement mentorship podcast. This is your host, Dr. Michael Koku, letting you realize that applied knowledge is what is power. It's not knowledge. Knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. Thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.